I'm sick, but I think it's all good because I'm a unicorn.
To all the ladies in the place with style and grace, allow me to lace these lyrical douches in your bushes who rock grooves and make moves with all the mommies. The back of the club sipping my wet is...
Hey guys, my name is Patty and welcome to my YouTube channel. I was about to go to bed, but I was like, what do you need right before you go to bed? You need a story. So here is my story time of my first fight. So my first fight that I ever got in, I was 13 years old. So this happened like a good 8 years ago. So 8 years ago, I was in Mexico. It was me, my youngest sister, her name is Kiki, my cousin, his name's Caesar, and my two other cousins, Natalie and Samantha. Samantha Nicole, the one that has the YouTube channel. You guys should follow her. I'll put her link down below. Two of my cousins lived down in Mexico, which was Nicole and Natalie, and Kiki, Cesar, which is my other cousin, and we went down to Mexico for summer vacation. So we were down there, and my grandpa, he owns like this little ranch down where we live. So it's like the town, and then like 15-20 minutes from like the town that we're from, there's like a little ranchito, and it's like super duper small. There's like nobody there. Like population there is probably like 40 people max, and there's two little stores there and a huge basketball court, and then just like a little garden area, and that's it. Like there's literally nothing there besides like trees and boring shit. And so my grandpa usually likes to go down there and like clean up his ranch a bit. So that day we happened to go down there. So all five of us were down there. It was Samantha, Natalie, Cesar, Kiki, and me. So all five of us, we were down there. And honestly, there's literally nothing to do there. I mean, you can play basketball, play soccer, walk around the garden, walk, enjoy nature, talk. But being the lazy fat fucks that me and my cousins were, we were like, you know what, let's just go buy some chips, a drink, and let's just sit down and eat. And so that's what we did. We asked my grandpa for money. We got the money, we walked down to the store. As we're walking, we're all talking, but since we all spoke English, we were all just communicating in English because that's like our language, I guess. I mean, we could speak Spanish too, but we feel more comfortable speaking English. So we were all just talking and walking down to the store. And then we get to the store, we start looking for our chips and stuff, and we're still talking in English. So while we're buying our stuff, this group of like young little boys walk in. They hear us talking in English, and they kind of just turn around and like look at us like, and so they're kind of just staring at us. And so like honestly, my cousins and I, we were just so used to it because every time we spoke English and we were walking around town in Mexico, they'd all like look at us and like, dude, we get it, it's a different language, you guys don't understand it, we get it, it's weird, you know? So they would look at us weirdly and we'd leave it at that, move on with our lives. But for some reason, these kids were just like staring at us. They kind of just gave us a dirty look and then they walked away. And so me and my cousins, we got our chips. We went to the basketball court. And like in Mexico, usually, if not most of the times, the basketball courts are like a mixture of like basketball with like a soccer court. But the way it's designed, it's so weird. All courts are usually like gated. Well, at least where I'm from, it's like a rectangle, and then the ends kind of push out a bit more because it's also like supposed to be kind of like a goal in case they decide to use it for soccer instead of basketball. And so the way it's designed, like I don't know, it has like these little diagonal poles that go like to, I don't know, it's weird, it's really hard to explain. But point is, like what me and my cousins used to do, we like to go on those like poles on the side that kind of just go like that, and we would either climb up all the way to the top and just sit there and eat our food, or we would just sit on like the lower levels of it. And so that's what we did. My cousins and I, we kind of just went, got our chips, our drink, and we just sat there eating our chips, drinking our soda, minding our own business, you know, like a handful of people usually do. And then out of like the other end of the court, we just see like that group of little boys that gave us the nasty look at the store. They all come in, and like This group of boys are like the same age as the male cousin in our group. I didn't explain the ages of everybody in the group. Like at the time I was 13. So Natalie at the time was 12. Samantha was probably 6. Kiki was 8. Cesar was 8. The group of kids that walk in, like the oldest one looks like he's probably 9. And everyone else in the group is like in between the ages of like 6 and 8. And it was like a pretty big group. These kids, like they just go into the court, and then as they're walking in, they're giving us nasty looks again, and then all of a sudden they go like, like, I guess they were trying to mimic us, like mimic our English or something. But yeah, they were like in there trying to like make fun of us, I guess, and we were like, we ignored it because, I mean, I was just there trying to eat my chips and have a great time. Like, I looked at my cousins and I was like, are they talking to us? And my cousin was like, yeah, I think so. I think they're trying to make fun of us, but I don't care. And I was like, true. Because I don't care either. I'm just trying to eat my chips.
If you know how I feel, why would you say that?
We ignored it. They were like running around in circles inside this court. And so they were like in the middle and we were towards one of the ends of the hoops just sitting there watching them. So they kind of realized that we weren't paying much attention to them, so they kind of walked away. And so we kept eating our chips, we kept talking, and then we saw them come back in. They had like sodas too, like the little plastic cups of sodas, but we just thought it was like their drinks. And then all of a sudden, like they start swinging their sodas around like this. Their bodies were facing like our direction. And so we just see them swinging their bottles like this, and then bam, they throw it at us. It hits like the wall of the basketball court and it makes like a large bang. And the thing is, these plastic bottles were full of dirt and rocks, but the fact that they threw it so hard, it hit the wall pretty hard, and like the plastic bottle, like it kind of just exploded on us. We got hit with like little pebbles and dirt and stuff. And so that's when I lost my shit.
I was like, what? Bruh, you just got dirt in my chip. You just hit me in the face with little pebbles that were in that bottle.
But even then, like, I was mad, but I was like, these little kids aren't worth it. At the time, mama raised a bitch, so I didn't want any problems. I was just like, you know what, like, I'll ignore it. My other cousin, Natalie, she was a bad bitch. She was like, and I was like, Natalie, stop, like, we don't want none of this. Even though they were 8 years old and I was 13 and she was 12, I still did not want none of that. Like, I didn't want any problems. Natalie has been a bad bitch since day one. She's still a bad bitch. Like, her mama did not raise no bitch. And so Natalie got up and she started cursing them out in Spanish. But she was like,
are you guys fucking kidding me? Come fucking do something to our face. If you guys gonna be throwing that shit, throw something else. Get close to me, huh?
These kids just laughed and they ran off. And she was like, but then they came back again. We saw them come back in and I was like, Natalie, let's just leave. And she was like,
nah, we're not going nowhere. They're not gonna push us out. We ain't little bitches.
But she just was like insistent. She was like, we're not gonna let these little kids run us out of a basketball court that's open to the public. Like, no. And so I was just like, okay. They came back with another bottle and they started swinging it again towards us. While they were swinging that bottle, I remember like turning around to my sister and my cousin, Kiki and Samantha. I turned around to them and I was like, go back to the house, because the house wasn't that far away from the court. And so they ran back to the house where my grandparents were at. Natalie, Cesar, and I, we stayed there because like the reason why we didn't send Cesar out to go back to the house, even though he was the same age as Kiki, we didn't send him back because first of all, he a man, and second of all, like, we could tell like those boys really wanted to fight Cesar, and Cesar, like, he was getting really mad too that he wanted to fight the little boys back. And I was just like, fuck, if Cesar wants to fight, let him fight. And so these kids started swinging this bottle again. Samantha and Kiki, they had ran off, gone back home. It was just Natalie, Cesar, and I. They were swinging this bottle, bam, they threw it again. Luckily this one didn't explode or anything, but they threw it. And Natalie, like, she got up right away. Cesar got up right away. I got up right away. And we started walking towards them. And this time the kids, like, they walk towards us too. So we start walking towards them, they start walking towards us, and like you can just feel it, like it's getting pumped, like we're just walking towards each other, but like it's getting lit. The leader, which was like the 9-year-old kid or 9-year-old kid, like the oldest one in the group, he was like the leader of the whole pack, and so he was in the front and all the little kids were walking behind him. And so Cesar was in the front from our side, the little 8-year-old, and then me and Natalie walking in the back. So this is what happens. So they get right in front of each other, the 9-year-old and Cesar, and so they're kind of just right in front of each other. And I remember the 9-year-old, he just goes up to Cesar and pushes him, and Cesar falls on the ground. He's kind of just like on the ground. He looks up at the kid and he's like and he starts doing this. Now I don't know if y'all know what this is, if y'all ever seen this. Like, this is when I knew Cesar was gonna die. Like, there was no way this kid was winning, because this kid still believed in Spider-Man, and for some reason he thought he had Spider-Man's superpowers and he was gonna demolish this kid with this. All the boys started laughing. The 9-year-old low-key started beating Cesar up. And like, Ohana, you guys, I did what I had to do. I had to protect my own. I specifically remember grabbing this kid by his hair. Like, I grabbed his hair, I pulled his head back, and I just started punching his face as he was trying to punch Cesar like this. And then I started shaking his head, punching him some more, like, what's up? Like, what's up? Oh my god, I was so pumped. That's like, oh my god, I don't know what took over me. Like, I was mad and I was just like trying to defend the shit out of my cousin. And then I remember all the little kids in the group, they tried like fighting back, like they wanted to throw punches too. And Natalie, she was like,
whoever jumps in, I'm hitting all y'all too, what's up?
These kids, like, they saw her and they were just intimidated. They didn't even bother jumping in. So I just pull his head back, keep punching the shit out of him. He keeps punching Cesar. He stopped because like he realized, like, I lost, there's no point now. And once he stopped, I stopped, and then I kind of just threw him off once he stopped punching. And then he kind of just backed up and he was like, hella man. I swear to god, like, I don't know what took over me. Like, this is probably the worst thing I've ever done in my life, and I have regrets sometimes, but at the same time, you looked for it, son. But yeah, when I let him go, he kind of just walked off. He sat down in a chair right outside the court, and he was just sitting there. His shirt, I don't know who pulled his shirt, but his shirt was ripped. And when he was sitting down, like, some older guy went up to him and gave him like a paper towel, and like, I guess he was bleeding from his nose. Like, this little 9-year-old boy got fucked up. Oh my, I don't know what I did, but I fucked him up quite a bit. So that happened. I kind of feel bad, but then I kind of don't, because like, we tried ignoring it so many times, but this little boy, he wanted it. Like, I'm telling you guys, he wanted it. He wanted these hands. That is the story time of my first fight. I don't know if it's like a legit fight. I consider it a fight because fists were thrown, and even though it didn't hit my perfect face because this little kid was probably too short to reach, that was my first fight. That was my first experience as a fight, my only experience in a fight, because I'm a good hugging person. Like, everybody loves me and I have no problems with anybody. But yeah, that was my first fight. I hope you guys really enjoyed the story, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to, I really don't know how to do these outros. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for what's to come. Yeah.